One of the most popular questions I get asked is, Simon, have you ever bought a fake golf club? Simon, have you ever been scammed out of your money when trying to buy golf clubs online, whether it's Facebook, Gumtree, eBay? And over the 2-3 years I've been doing this, and obviously solidly now for the last 6 months, I've never bought a fake golf club or been sold a counterfeit golf club or even been scammed out of my money. That all being said, very recently I've definitely come across something. Guys, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. It's Simon down here at Sandford Springs Golf Club. Now, as a person that very much endorses, promotes and encourages you guys to go and buy second-hand golf equipment, whether it's Facebook, eBay, Gumtree, to save yourself money, get better value clubs that suit your game, I do feel I have somewhat responsibility to then let you guys know about certain cons and scams out there that I come across so you guys don't lose your money. And to be honest, this very rarely happens, and this is the first one that I've kind of come across. However, it's abundantly clear now that there are certain people out there that are trying to steal other people's money by promoting and selling very cheap Mavrik Callaway drivers. So yesterday was like any other day. I woke up, had breakfast, and I type in golf clubs into Facebook Marketplace within 100 kilometers of myself just to see what kind of deals are out there. And then I scroll through and go, that would work, that would make a good video, I can make some money on that, or maybe I won't make some money on that. Whatever it might be, I get a good general understanding. However, I will show you the driver in question that came up yesterday, and I messaged the gentleman because obviously I was thinking, if this is a scam, hopefully he sells me the driver so I can buy it, and again it'll probably make a much better video, or I get to find the ins and outs. And I keep getting ghosted every time I go and try and do payment, and I think it's because I keep offering to come and collect it rather than obviously they post it. The driver in question was this one here, £170. The driver's basically brand new, has never been touched. That's probably one thing to be said. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And it's listed a day ago in Bristol. Now, originally, this driver was listed in Reading, and I'm going to try and block out this person's name and profile because obviously it's their privacy, and I do feel these accounts are getting hacked. These aren't actual people that are scamming. They get hacked, they change the location, etc, etc. But even from the start, like, it's a 10.5 degree stiff shaft. However, he's copied wherever he's got this from, and I'll get that into a minute. That says a UST Helium Black Lightweight Performance, which is basically a completely different shaft to the stiff one, Even Flow Riptide, that he's got below. So he's obviously copied and pasted this from somewhere. If you go into this gentleman's profile, he doesn't actually live here. The gentleman himself actually lives in Germany. I believe he's a photographer, a very accomplished one for that as well. He's not in Bristol, and the best bit about this is he's selling a GoPro, which I'll get into in a minute, because again, whoever keeps selling Mavrik drivers loves selling GoPros. That GoPro is then listed in Reading. So I don't know if you're trying to go back and forth depending on where you want to sell it, but both the items yesterday were in Reading, and I'll show you the messages back and forth that we had. As you can see in my message inbox, I've had a few of these, obviously trying to get the ins and outs. And guys, if you understand how this scam works, I imagine they say they're just going to post it, because the majority of these locations are in Plymouth, Weymouth, most south part of the whole country. And if you're anywhere else, you can't be bothered to drive down there. You're like, oh, can you post it? And they'll be like, can you do PayPal? Can you do friends and family so I don't have to pay charges? And then they'll never send it. And because you did friends and family, you're not covered. One of my biggest tips is always pay as like a business or service. Even offer to pay the 2% more just so that you're covered, just like you would be on eBay. As I say, I've never been scammed or sold fake stuff on eBay, and if I was, then I can just put it up with eBay and they sort it out, hence why the charges. That's how I think it works anyway. But as you can see, I've got a few Mavrik drivers on the go here, and you'll see how stupid it is when I'll show you the exact same drivers that have been even sold 2 weeks ago on eBay in a minute. Anyway, yesterday, This was with Michael, the photographer from Germany. Very short, very abrupt. Okay, sure. And then I say, what's the address? What time works for you? And then I kind of get ghosted. I keep doing this stupidly. I actually tried for Anna yesterday. Unfortunately, you can't really send Anna any other messages. It kind of just blocks you straight away, which is quite weird. This one down here, for example, if I try and hit on like the Facebook profile, because normally you get to check out where that person's from, wherever, unfortunately, I think that now has been like stopped or whatever, closed down, because the person probably reported it as being hacked. And again, just here's some general ideas. Now, this was a very interesting one. This is down in Weymouth. So again, Callaway Mavrik driver, all legit. I even went into research, see maybe they're selling counterfeit heads. Now there are 2020 counterfeit heads already out, whether it's the Sim Max, the G410, Callaway Mavrik. And the Callaway Mavrik is actually, I couldn't really tell much difference whether they're using a real Callaway Mavrik head, and I'll show you the website in a minute that sells them. Obviously don't buy them. Maybe that'd be a good review, the best counterfeit head out on the market. But overall, it looks like the business. Now, interestingly, if we go out of this and we go onto eBay, and I now look for sold Mavrik drivers, it's quite easy to show that actually I don't think this one has sold. I think this is the one that's still up and running. So obviously that person's got it listed for 180 on Facebook Marketplace. But if you keep scrolling down, here it is, currently at £255 on eBay. Now, the other person's name I won't care to mention because obviously their privacy. They live in Wales, some reason they're selling it in Plymouth, and the account they're selling this driver, I believe begins with J. He looks like a man's username. But obviously they're selling it for $255. Why would you have it posted on Facebook as well? The description for this item, again, is the carbon copy of the one on Facebook. So all I imagine people are doing is downloading photos of other people's stuff and then copying it. This isn't even the best one. I'll show you the best one, as it's got a great background. Okay, so here's another one. If we go down into Plymouth, I mean, this is the mecca of, oh, I better probably not put my location halfway in the sea. There we go. The mecca of very cheap Mavrik drivers. Now, as we can see, playset in the background there in Plymouth. Again, I won't show the username or anything else because I imagine this is just another person. The majority of the time, they're all ladies' accounts. I don't know if that's like a trust issue. You just like trust that they're just selling their husband's driver or something like that. I don't know, but they normally are. This person lives in Spain. As I say, the other person, they never live in the location that they're actually selling the club. But I love the playset in the background there. Again, if we go onto eBay, as we go through the sold listings on it didn't take me that long to spot the same pink castle in the background. As you say, you go through here, it was quite obvious then at this point that people were obviously copying the photos, copying the description, selling it for nearly £150 cheaper than what they're being listed for on eBay, and then however they get your money, they get your money. It's just too often, like, Mavrik drivers for me just stick out. Like, I haven't seen it done with any other driver for whatever reason. It seems like the Mavrik. £330 this driver was sold for over 2 weeks ago now, and it looks as genuine as anything. And to be honest, that's what a £330 driver should be selling for. And you should be looking at the sellers' like reviews, and if they're pristine like this gentleman's is, then no worries. Like, there's no real worry about you buying a counterfeit or getting scammed. And again, if it was fake, then by all means speak to eBay, they'll refund you and you'll be back to good as new. However, this wasn't the case on Facebook. Facebook, you don't have that, and as I said earlier, pay as goods and services rather than friends and family, so you are at least covered if you're going to go down that route. But again, 9 times out of 10, always collect the item yourself. Don't get it delivered. So after all of that, out of curiosity, I really wanted to know, can you get a counterfeit 2020 driver head? How quickly? What is the turnaround? And I was surprised to see that actually quite quickly. There's this one company, I went on everyone's favorite counterfeit website, AliExpress, to have a look at what you could buy. Now, a lot of these look very dodgy, and to be honest, it's quite easy in person to see what's counterfeit and what's not. But for example, that Mavrik driver, I know it hasn't got the logo on it. To me, that looks pretty much like a carbon copy. The interesting thing for me as well, guys, is that you got to be careful of is, I can't zoom in there, but you can see the like code down the side, the serial number. Don't just because something has a serial number automatically assume that it's real. A lot of people are like, oh, don't worry, it's got the serial. Like that TS4 looks horrendous. Like that's never gonna fly. But overall, don't just assume. Like making the driver heads the difficult bit. Stamping or lasering in or etching in like a 12-digit code at the hosel isn't really going to be the hardest bit of the process of making a fake driver head, but they are out there. My only advice realistically is, why would you buy a second-hand expensive driver the year it comes out? For me personally, if you're going to spend £300 or £350 on like a used brand new driver, you might as well spend another £100 and get it fitted for you, so you know you've got the right head and you've got the right shaft. When it comes to older clubs, the fake stuff gets weaned out. It either gets reported or pros go, that's not right, or whatever, and you're not going to see companies bringing out fake counterfeit M2 heads now, because you're only going to get 100 quid. It's not even worth it. What I would suggest is have a look at older models. So if you like the Mavrik, go down the Rogue route. If you like the Rogue, go down the XR route. If you like the tailor-made M6, go and get an M2. That's how you're going to be more likely to buy a better reasonable product, but also less likely to get a counterfeit one. If a driver really gets released, for these guys it's like printing money, because these drivers are £450 a piece. They don't have to spend money on marketing. They don't need the infrastructure. They're not housing or supplying the staff, the tour players, the tour bills. So realistically, they can make a head for 20 quid and sell it for 150, and they're making a lot of money. That's my only advice, because realistically, I don't know how you can stop yourself from buying a counterfeit golf club with photos and pictures alone. Anyway guys, that is my heads up. As I say, I don't know how many countries this happens in. I don't know what kind of products this might happen with as well. I imagine it's not just golf, but I would just stay away and steer with caution. If something sounds too good to be true, especially on Facebook, then by all means stay away from it. If it's an eBay auction and you get lucky, that's one thing, but if someone's advertising something 70% or 60% less than its initial cost and it looks brand new, you're probably going down the wrong route. That being said, I'm desperate to get hold of one of these guys and trying to sell me, or at least get to like the PayPal conversation, because that's going to make a very interesting video. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. If you guys got any information or any comments, then please do leave them down below, as the more information we have about this, the more safer and the better off as a community. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. See you later.